Bravo, we're back.
We are back, y'all. We made it. We are alive. We made it from Bravocon.
We did it, Joe. We survived Las Vegas.
We're going to be the Bravocon and Bravocon states.
Las Vegas, we came to your city. We brought a lot of money to your city. We felt with your city. You know, the bad bitches linked up and all the handsome men also linked up and they took their shirts off and it was a great time. And now we're here to literally talk about every single detail. This is not going to be your normal Wednesday pop culture episode. This is the Bravo Wild Black Bravocon 2023 penultimate episode of every little detail that we did from beginning to end. Obviously, we have a different perspective on things. We, have different favorites. We saw different people. Yeah. We had different priorities. And obviously, we're a lot more chaotic than probably the people that you follow. So this is going to be your chaos podcast. If you want an organized master posts or anything, you should go and reach out to any of our friends. I'm sure that Ryan Bailey is going to break it on down like
a master class.
Brings it on down. Yeah, in a different kind of way, very organized, very thorough. Who is someone that we saw Bravo and Blaze. Shout out to her. We linked up with your moms are watching. We saw so many of you who literally listen to the podcast. Like that's what I wanted to start off with.
Crazy, honestly. And I appreciate it so much for you guys like coming up to us and, recognizing us and just speaking to us and hugging us and taking pictures. It was the nicest experience. Nobody booed us.
I was scared.
I was impressed. I was scared. I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh, they're definitely going to boo us.
Yeah, because we do talk that cash money shit, but one thing about it, I'll back that shit up too. And I would have stood 10 toes down, but I didn't have to because you guys are so nice. Last year, I went solo. Shout out to Samaj. I had Samaj with me, and Samaj got recognized too because Samaj is in the podcast space and also in the super fan space because that's what we are, honestly, just super fans.
Samaj is also on the pavement, like. Right. Every time I see him, he's with a Bravo celebrity. He's showing up at the event. He's with Candace. He's with like anybody you could think of.
They know him.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. Just like we know him. But yes, I want to ask Aaron because this was his first BravoCon. Mm-hmm. How was your experience overall?
I would definitely say a 10 out of 10, just because I've seen the people that I want to see. Now, I'm not going to lie. At first, it was very intimidating just walking into the whole thing and seeing everybody lined up because these are like hardcore. And don't get me wrong, I'm a hardcore Bravo fan, but y'all have seen how that Beverly Hills panel went. So it was very scary walking into things, but I say once I got comfortable and once I started meeting people, and y'all know I'm naturally an introvert, it definitely took me out my shell. So I do apologize in advance, like not in advance because it already happened, but the first day if I looked like my head was in the clouds because I'm the type of person I got to take everything in, but I was very excited, shocked, surprised once I seen some.
This is water, by the way, guys. It's water. Sorry. Go ahead. I'll be clear when I'm drinking though. But I know that we are trying to upload our things to YouTube, so I don't want them to think that it's alcohol.
No, it's water.
Go ahead, continue. You had to take everything in.
Yeah, I had to take everything in, but once I took everything in, I'd say by the second day, I knew the place like the back of my hand. I knew where everything was. Shout out to the VIP chicken sliders. I won't forget. I will never forget. Amazing.
We just want to thank Bravo for having us there and DirecTV for getting us there.
Yes.
And also Lisa Barlow for being like a fairy godmother because she knows us.
She knows us. And it was great meeting her. We met John. We literally, listen, we met everybody. We're famous now.
Yeah. It was like the best 3 days. The only thing, okay, let's start from the very beginning. Obviously, we get you very invested in our personal lives. So let's recap. My ass was in the hospital like 2 weeks ago. So I should not have been on this trip at all. Everyone told me it was a bad idea to go. Everyone tried to get me to stay home. Everyone was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm going to Las Vegas. Mind you, I have not done a lot of traveling. The extent of my traveling is New York a couple times and Atlanta. So this was insane for me to do. Looking back, I was wilded. Looking back, I probably shouldn't have went. But guess what? I did, and I don't regret it because I wouldn't have had such a good time and I wouldn't have been able to go to Las Vegas. I've always wanted to go to Las Vegas. I just didn't know how I would get there. And this was the way, the truth, and the light. Well, no, that's God. But, like it was a great time. So we had a long, long flight because, again, we are in South Florida. So the longest I've been on a plane is like 2.5 hours, and that's from Florida to New York. And the half is stretching it because it's usually like 2 hours and 13 minutes. So we didn't even know what like a layover was, but we knew that we had one. We've always heard that term layover. And I thought a layover meant that like you had to go somewhere and you had to spend the night and you had to leave the next day and go to another place. But
I did too. I think that's technically like an overnight layover. It's still a layover, but just like longer.
Okay. Yeah. So I thought that, it was weird. But then I found out when I was like booking the tickets, of course we flew Delta because we're bougie. I don't want to go on Spirit and turn into a Spirit. Spirit was the only one doing non-stops to Las Vegas, which I will give them that. I will give them that they have like the big seat, but I flew Spirit once and that was like the first time that I flew and I almost passed away. So I almost turned into a Spirit for real. So I was like, I don't care if we have to sit in like seat 128F. We're flying Delta,
Please,
but we didn't.
Not 128F.
We sat pretty good in the main cabin and everything was great. And then they let us check our bags because it was a full flight each and every way. So we checked our bags and we were just like, okay, let's do this. So originally we knew that we had like a 2-hour flight. And then we thought what was going to be another like maybe 2.5-2-hour flight max. I thought it was going to be 2-hour flights or 2 hour and an hour. Nothing could prepare me for what we found out when we got to our layover flights.
Yeah. Oof.
So we went from Fort Lauderdale Airport because Miami Airport is a no-go. It was voted worst airport in America. So I'm not even going to ever try to go there unless I got my private jet and that's where they can land. But if I have a private jet, then they should be able to land anywhere. So I'm contradicting myself. Anyways, so we flew from Fort Lauderdale to Detroit, which I should have known in my head something did not sound right. But I wasn't good at geography. I was good at English and creative writing. So we flew to Detroit. It turns out that shit's all the way up north. Like, y'all, if you are listening to this and you're in Detroit, you are very close to Canada. I don't know if you knew that.
Very.
I didn't know that. I'm like looking at the map because obviously they have the map out that you can look at when you're on the thing. If you're
and y'all, let me tell you something. Kaya loves this map. Kaya will literally look at something. There's something that she wants to watch on her screen, and she'll go over to my screen, and then she'll click on the map to see how far we are.
I need to know how far we are. I need to know exactly what state I'm in. I need to see the line. And is he flying the right way? Because what about if he's not
Sometimes
flying the right way?
I wasn't sure. There were certain points where I was like, we're passing Las Vegas.
Hey, bring it around.
Yeah.
Like, I would take over. Like, I would figure it out. But don't do that shit on my watch. So I'm looking and I'm like, yo, why are we so close to Canada right now? And how are we going to get from Detroit to Las Vegas in an hour and a half, which I thought it was because the ticket said 12, the flight was like 12, and we would land there at 2 or a little bit before 2. So that's what the ticket said. I didn't calculate West Coast time, and that's where we fucked up at.
And I feel like they need to change that. They need to tell you the exact amount of hours each flight is going to be. Like, straight up. Don't bullshit me. Don't be like 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and you mean 12 p.m. West Coast time. Because then that's going to really piss me off.
Y'all, we thought this until we got on that second plane. We got on the second plane. There's literally, I thought it was the pilot just like chilling, waiting for everyone to board the plane. I'm like, yo, he's not a regular pilot. He's a cool pilot. Nah, this is a Delta employee. I forgot his name. He was very cool. Shout out to him. But he takes people on, I don't know, he teaches people how to like properly drive, and he does technical stuff, but he's not one of the like commercial pilots. He does something for Delta where he drives planes and he grades people on it, and it's very cool. So we get on there.
Shout out to him.
Yes, and he's very chatty, very nice. I love that. He has his pilot suit on. I didn't know if it was Halloween or he was cosplaying or what, but nah, he was straight up like a Delta G. So I'm just like, okay, so how long is this flight? Hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm looking at the screen. That shit says 3 hours and like 40 minutes. And I'm like,
4 hours. You just rounded up.
We're just like, what is going on? He's like, yeah, that sounds about right. And, you know, there's a lot of wind today, so it might be for 4 hours. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like Justin Bieber asks constantly. How the hell could it be 4 hours when my ticket says we're gonna get there at 2 o'clock? So, sir, I know that you're a pilot, but respectfully, like, stop. You don't even know what you're talking about right now. And
once we realized it too, Kay looked over at me and she's like, "Did you hear that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I heard it." And we just kind of
wanted to get off.
And we wanted to go. We wanted to get off. But I do kind of prefer Delta anyway because that layover saved us. I couldn't imagine doing the 8 hours in a row. Honestly, there has to be an opening at some point to get out and stretch your legs and walk around. So that layover is very important when you have a lengthy flight. So I wouldn't change that at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't change the layover. I would just change the route because I flew my other best friend, shout out to my other best friend, in to do my makeup. She went Southwest, which is where everyone else went. Because Southwest, you get to check 2 bags for free. Everyone else Delta lets you have a carry-on and a personal item, and any bag that you want to check, you have to pay for. So Southwest is cheaper, it's easier, they have more flights out, it's everything. But she flew Southwest, and her layover was in Kansas City, Missouri, which is like right in the middle of America. All I know is it wasn't by Canada to the right of the map. Okay, hers was like it was sensible. It was like, oh, if I was flying to Vegas, this is the halfway point where I would stop. So she had, like, it was an equal flying time kind of, but it just made more sense, or a little bit shorter. So anyways, we had to fly at a moment's notice because we had no time to take it in, no time to think about anything, no time to, like, I don't know, get our carry-ons because they were checked, like nothing. It was just mentally draining. So we finally figure out that, okay, we're here, we're at the biggest airport. The biggest airport is like a mall casino. Would not recommend. It's confusing. It's stressful. I'm sure
it looks like a piano. It doesn't look like a real airport either. It just looks like somebody decorated a room and they're like, this is the airport. Because I'm seeing casinos and stuff, and I didn't I get it's Vegas, but I'm just like, am I really in the airport?
They're like, we want you to lose your home, your soul, and your dignity.
Yeah. right here.
Right before you even step
Uh,
out into Las Vegas. Like, I'm not talking about like just one or two. It's a little casino inside of the airport. And I'm just like, and then there's people literally playing it, the games. And I'm like, are you okay?
yeah.
Gambling is an addiction.
Well,
Like,
yeah, it's serious.
but we got there. Everyone knows, if you know me, I'm very big on Airbnbs, especially for a long stay. If we're staying more than like a night or even 2 nights, I'm very into Airbnbs because I want a kitchen, I want my own room, I want my own shit, I want to feel like, I don't know, like someone wants me there.
How did you like the Airbnb?
I actually really love the Airbnb because it was very modern. The only thing that drove me wild was that my TV did not work. And if you understand addictions, that's my addiction.
Yeah.
TV, like, I had to have the background noise. I had to have something on constantly. Doesn't matter if I'm watching it or I'm not watching it. Like, right now, I'm struggling not to put the TV on when I record. It's on. My roommate is watching TV, but it's on in the background. So that's the only reason that I'm okay with it. But my TV in my room didn't work, but the living room TV worked. So we were able to watch our shows, and that we did.
We absolutely did. We absolutely did. And then we got some rest. You know, we got ready for our first day at Bravocon. We were just nervous. We were also tired. So we kind of went to bed early. I think maybe around, I want to say 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Literally so early. And the only thing that I was thankful for was that West Coast time was 3 hours behind. So that basically like added 3 hours for us to get prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God.
And I was
because
very
without that,
we would have probably been like, without that, our first day of BravoCon would have probably started at like 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, about 1 o'clock.
So the first day, of course, we pull up because it don't start till we pull up. We got VIP tickets. We're the baddest bitches there, the baddest thing walking, the coolest thing talking. What does Giselle say? What's her tagline?
The baddest
thing walking. Whatever Giselle's tagline was, we were there because that was like the only day that I saw Giselle walk past, and we didn't even go up to her. Anyways, so we go, and everything was very organized, especially considering like last year it was SVP, VIP, and then general admission. This convention center was huge. It did not run out of space. There was somewhere for everyone to go, and doing regular admission and VIP was the move for sure. Because if you did 3 different levels, it's just 3 different lines and 3 different temperaments and 3 different all this and that. So it just made more sense. Everything was very smooth. You just walked right up. You scanned your bracelet, and that bracelet is something that you need to hold on to for all 3 days. But some people don't get that. They don't get that.
Now, why am I in it?
I mean, I had my original wristband all 3 days. I don't know about some people, but there are others.
I had to get a new wristband. I'll put myself out there. I had to get a new wristband because the first night mine was tied a little bit too tight. To this day, I don't know who pulled it because it wasn't me. But the next day I was like, I had to cut it off my arm, and I went right up to them and I looked them in their face and I was like, I need another wristband now, and I need you to replace it. And he looked at me and he's like, well, how did you break it? And I'm like, well, it was too tight. And then he tells me, he's like, well, yeah, when you pull it tight, you can't loosen it up. That's just how it's going to stay for the rest of the time.
But it was too late, so he could have just literally like stopped and just like.
But I told him, I'm like, you know, I know this by now. But I appreciated it. The team that they had was great. They were able to give me a wristband, and I'd say in like maybe 2 minutes, and I was back to the normal festivity. So their team worked great.
Yeah, shout out to the team, everyone who said
Yeah.
Bravocon staff, like they made the experience like a lot better. I know the first day last year, you
Mhm.
had people who had the Bravocon shirt on literally tell you, oh, I don't know. I did not hear
Yeah.
one time, I don't know, or if I did, they would find out for me. So this was an excellent group of people who went to work on that day. Some were Bravo fans, some were not Bravo fans. Shout out to them. Shout out to the working class, aka us in general. Um, but it was really really fun. The first panel was I don't even whatever
Wasn't
we
it
read.
bosom buddies? Bosom buddies?
Bosom buddies. The
Bosom
first panel
buddies?
was bosom buddies, and that just really set the tone for everything. It was really funny. All of the Bravo Lebs really like played off of each other. It set the
Yeah.
tone for the entire weekend that it was going to be like a really playful weekend. The panels we're not going to get too much into unless it's the Potomac one, the Married to Medicine one, or the Atlanta one.
Yeah.
Because the good thing about it is Bravocon is streaming on Peacock right now, so you guys can go. They're going to upload content all the way until the 10th. So it's from, all 3 days, the panels. They had this stage called Bravoverse Live. This Bravoverse Live stage all day is that, there are just different Bravo celebrities that will come down an escalator, which is like the most fabulous entrance that I've ever seen in my life. They would
So
come down
glamorous.
an escalator, talk to our friend Prima at Prima Donald, aka Donald, on Instagram. Follow Prima because that was the MC of all 3 days. And they would have like an interview with Darren Carr or the woman that sings the Watch What Happens Live song. It was just a great time.
Mhm.
So we even got us a freaking Frosty at that stage, but that's on Saturday. So the Bravoverse Live stage was there. And then, of course, they had all of these interactive experiences. Do you want to tell them about the experiences, Aaron? Like the photo ops and
Yes, they had and we really took advantage of those, I would say the second day. The first day was more of us getting adjusted to the panels, but the second day we did the Bravo confessional, where you get to create your own Bravo confessional. You choose 3 questions, and they ask you like it's an actual housewives confessional. You can even do your own housewives. What did they call it? The real Bravocon housewives. So you created your own introduction. Kaya did hers. It was so nice. I did mine. So you guys might see that soon. We have a few things we're going to post. They even had a VPR one, and that was my favorite. That was your favorite too?
That was literally my favorite because they had it last year. I didn't do it because I didn't do any photo ops last year, even though my makeup looked fire and my outfits were fire. I didn't do the photo ops because I was just overwhelmed with the panels, and also there was just so much people. Like it made me feel claustrophobic. But go ahead.
I agree. I get that. I think the VPR one was perfect because it wasn't too many people lined up. So it gave me time to get our stuff together. And I'll say with that one, we were nervous because we weren't sure which props we were going to use. And we also weren't sure like what routine we were going to do. We literally practiced 3 times. And then
we're Vanderpump Rules experts, so we did not want to fuck this up. We had Dina Deadly on our podcast recently. Mm-hmm. They were playing the Vanderpump Rules theme song throughout the freaking day. Like it was just the super fan in us was like, you can't get this wrong.
Do you think that latest VPR commercial, do you think they slowed it down just because of our podcast episode with Dina Deadly?
Okay, you guys, if you saw the teaser, it's not the sneak peek where Ariana accuses Sandoval of trying to kill her dog. Mm-hmm. It was a teaser where it's just like the photo shoot and they're just serving. Get it? Serving. Yeah. And it was just insane because they used the slowed down version of the theme song, and it just made it 10 times better. And we talked about the regular version and the slowed down version and how it came to be because of John Legend on the podcast with Dina herself. So I was just like, this cannot be a coincidence, babe.
No, they were listening.
We are the visuals.
LVP personally was listening. I'm 100% sure.
Yes, exactly that. So that was the Vanderpump Rules panel, which I do want to touch on. Like, that was the first day, I believe. And that was really good because they wanted to get into some mess. And Lisa, annoying ass, was
we
not.
All have a past. We all have.
She was just like, let's stop, because they wanted to keep, going over Scandival. And she was just like, let's not get into it. We filmed a whole season. We have to go on, yada yada. And I'm just like, no, let's get into some mess. Like, why are you doing that?
LVP is like, no.
I'm like, why are you here? Like, they should have just brought her on the stage for a few minutes or whatever and then leave and whatever. So she was there. Tom Sandoval got booed like hard. And I want to let y'all know, I don't care. I'm a hater. I'm a hater to my core when it comes to Sandoval. And I was doing most of the booing. Like, for my section, I gets down. I held it down.
It's true.
I was booing like, I literally had to, just like I booed Lisa Rinna last year. I was like, boo! Like, I don't want to hear a single thing. And then someone got up and they were like, oh, he's a human. And I'm just like, girl, okay, bye. We're not here for none of that, because he came on stage with his shirt.
In the past. We all have a past.
He came on stage with his shirt unbuttoned to his like belly button. Like, okay. And then he also had on a kilt, which I'm like, okay, whatever. You think that you're a fashion girly? That's fine. Be a fashion girly. But like, he just, his answers weren't doing it. He didn't seem remorseful. He just seemed to be the same person. So if you're not changing, then why the hell would I change? I'm a hater to my core. So of course, boo, you suck. And then also Ken came while he was talking. So no one literally was paying attention to Sandoval when he was talking. A lot of people just like got up and were like supporting Ken.
Did he do his infamous speech? Did he do the I can't believe? No,
he literally just came in the room. Aaron got up because he had to go to another panel. I believe it was the way we.
It was the OC panel, to be exact.
Okay, I'm gonna let Aaron get into the OC panel. But Ken came in. Everyone got up. I thought someone was fighting. I'm like, oh, y'all getting down because of the Beverly Hills panel last year. I thought someone like took someone's seat or whatever, because you know how the soccer moms get. Anyways, it turned out it was only Ken making an entrance, and it was hilarious. So then they got back to it, and it was just very interesting. Ariana was not letting up on Sandoval, and some people are critical of that, how she was like rolling her eyes because James and Sandoval got into a push-up contest, and thank God James won the push-up contest. They talked about who the number one guy in the group is now, and it's James Kennedy, and how his poo-poo head shirts are selling, and how his worm with the mustache shirts are selling. So it was just like a really good time for James, especially. And just being a hater was great. Hater to my bones. So that was a fun one. And yeah, so yeah, they had the VPR experience photo op. They also had like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Miami, and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City set up to take pictures at. And my favorite one was definitely Salt Lake City, because it had all of this like warm winter gear, and it had skis, and it had a bathtub. And if you know, Meredith Marks was like, it was a dig on my bathtub and a dig on my marriage. And I'm like, exactly, girl. So I saw the bathtub, and you already know that I had to get a picture with the bathtub. I don't know if I'm going to release those pics, but I might. Either way, it was like a really fun, like fan niche kind of thing, niche, whatever you want to pronounce it as. I like saying niche because I'm bougie like that. But it was just so great. And you would just see, just like last year, Bravo Loves would walk, and it was like John Lennon entered the room. People would just lose their minds and scream their heads off. There was also a VIP area, but we did not get to the real VIP area like until Saturday, which was our favorite day.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about the OC panel. Just a little bit.
Listen, the OC panel was really good because it brought into question, you know, what everybody wanted to know, the aftermath with the whole Shannon DUI thing. That's really what it was. And we got to the bottom of it. You know, she went into it further. She issued somewhat of an apology. And she has a few things coming, a few things lined up. So we're going to stay tuned and we're going to see. But honestly, it was Tamra. They asked about Vicky. They asked if she was coming back. Vicky's returning. Vicky is going to be full-time. I have a feeling about it. She could not confirm that. She couldn't confirm it, so I'm going to say allegedly for now. But I do believe that they will bring Vicky back because a lot of people have asked, and a lot of people want to see it. Heather, what really surprised me about this panel too is the fact that Heather and Tamra were really getting along. Like they were able to have.
You thought it was genuine?
I do. Because I feel like Tamra is more the type of person, if she does have a problem with you, she's going to make that clear. And I think Heather's the same way. So for them to be able to have a conversation and really kind of just coexist. And if I'm remembering correctly, I also want to say that they sat next to each other too. They were pretty close. So I was like, wow, look at this. But the rest of the reunion, Shannon was very quiet.
The reunion.
It was a reunion to me. It was literally how many parts was it? It was 2. So this was the third part, honestly. The only difference is that Andy Cohen was not hosting it.
It was Jerry O'Connell, right? Or was it Michael Rappaport?
I want to say, ooh, that's a good question. Wasn't it Danny Pellegrino?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I didn't go. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I want to say it was Danny Pellegrino. Let me double check just to be sure.
He definitely did host 2 panels. Danny hosted 2 panels. Danny was also on Bravo Wear Black, which you can scroll down and
you can definitely catch that episode. But he did
because again, we're ahead of our time, and we know it's hot. So I think it was Danny Pellegrino. You did compliment whoever hosted. I just don't remember who it was because I wasn't there.
Yes, but it was absolutely Danny Pellegrino. So I want to make that clear.
You know what, you guys?
Great job.
Me and Aaron both went live. So some people got to see some of the Vanderpump Rules panel, and others got to see some of the OC panel. Yeah. So it was just...
and they're all up if you guys want to check it out on Instagram. We have all the panels up. Well, most of them. We didn't get a chance to record the Beverly Hills panel. And I want to say that was the 3rd day just because of the angle of our seats. It just wasn't.
But I was on threads. For every panel that we went to, I threaded them. Well, every good one. And I took the juicy parts because I don't care about stuff I don't care about. I put up what I would want to see. So that's that. But yeah, that first day, I feel also was a great day for a first day because you had to really adjust. So then the Bravos was at night, which was amazing, like a great ceremony, even though we might not agree with who won some of the awards. Like, I know that Lala is good with her words, but for her to win like the best shade thrower or whatever category it was, like shade assassin or some shit like that, and she was in the category with like Kenya Moore and Karen Huger, like, be so for real right now.
That was Karen's, but
like, come on. And Laura would agree because she watches the shows. She's a Housewives fan, and she knows. She even says on her podcast, she's like, yeah, I have a mouth, but these women on Housewives, they're so brilliant when it comes to putting words together and throwing shade that I could not. I wouldn't even be able to hold like my own on there. So, anyways, child. So that was it. That was the first day. The second day, I think it started off great because I don't know if it was the first panel, second panel, whatever panel it was. Amir from Summer House Martha's Vineyard took
That was
his
the
shirt.
battle of the
Not
sexes panel too.
the battle of the sexes panel. It was a lot of sexy people on that panel, girls and guys. And he apologized for all men everywhere. So it was nice. Well, straight men. It was nice to get that apology
Yes.
from straight men. And you know what? I don't accept, but it was great hearing it from Amir because he was genuine in it. So he took his shirt off once, and then they were playing like a game. It was like Family Feud. They surveyed some of the Bravocon attendees, and they were going after what we said, and you they had to guess, and it was obviously who are the top. I don't know how many. Is it 6 sexiest men? And obviously Andy Cohen was on there. Mauricio was on there. Like, they tried to say James Kennedy, and I was like, no. And then they was like, when they said James Kennedy, so that was funny as hell.
They were trying to be fun.
I'm like, be so for real right now. Like, that man is right there. So they were like, oh, Amir, say Amir. I'm like, finally, like, do you see what's in front of you? And it said Amir, and he just like rips his shirt off, and I'm like, wow, God is real. God is real.
Very nice. Very nice panel.
Very nice man. Very nice body. He has a girlfriend, so it was all in good fun. It's just like he was like the Usher of Bravocon. Like, great to look at, beautiful person, very nice, but that he's untouchable. He's a taken man, and he also said that too. But it don't. I got eyes, baby, and I'm right here if that ends. Everyone's right here. We're waiting on to be single again. But the highlight of it was actually like Bravopalooza, because Aaron got his sliders.
Thank you. I was just about to. I'm glad you said it for me. They had burger sliders and these little mini sandwiches that were a hit. Honestly, because we were not eating, like, we were so busy trying to meet our favorite Bravo Lebs and make it to the panels on time, we weren't able to really eat like that. So once we got a chance, I was just like, it's time to grub. It's time to make our rounds. We also stopped by the kitchen a lot of the times.
Yeah, no, on purpose, because baby, this is VIP. Like,
I want to be the first person. I
don't want to. I didn't want people to breathe over my food. Like, ew, what are you doing? Cover your mouth. It's anytime anyone coughed, I was like,
what was your favorite? I want to ask too. Your favorite like little appetizer, was it the pork belly?
Yeah, it was the pork belly. Thank you for answering, because that. I
think you were most excited about that. That's why I said it, because after the first piece, she was like, "Yeah, I need another one."
I was like, "Can they stop with the sliders and just do pork belly, or can I get 7 more pork belly?" Because they were on a toothpick. Like, can I get 7 more pork bellies? Because this shit is fuego. But anyways, that wasn't the highlight of Bravopalooza. I was able to finally introduce Aaron to Lisa Barlow, because last year I told you about Lisa Barlow. She took my hand, she put it in the air, she said, "This is my friend," and it was great. This time she was in our Bravopalooza, Whitney was in our Bravopalooza, and a whole bunch of other people from Below Deck, and Corey from Winter House, which is another fine specimen.
Also, Sanya was in there. Sanya was literally walking around with her mom, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
We were so stunned. She's so pretty in person. Sanya was there. So what a Bravopalooza basically is it's an add-on experience, and you go into a room for an hour. You're able to mingle with other people and Bravo celebrities, and you're able to eat and get a drink and have a good time. and there's music playing and the lighting is perfect and everything. So anyways, it was time for Lisa to come. So I'm like, oh my God, she's going to finally meet Aaron because we DM with her all the time, but she wasn't able to meet him last year. So we see her. She looks gorgeous, by the way, had her own lighting, had her LA makeup artist, not the one that we saw on the show. Yeah, not the one that we saw on the show, like her everyday one, but her LA one. She was gorgeous too. Like she had her makeup was beat, and then she had this amazing sleeve. I'm like, girl, your tattoo is popping. And then John was over and mingling with fans. So tell them about how, our experience with Lisa this time.
I was really excited to meet Lisa. The reason being, because we just always been a fan of her from Salt Lake City, but she's also extremely interactive with us on social media. And in person, it was no different. Lisa talks to you like you're the only person in the room. And that's what I love so much about it, because I forget that I'm in a room full of people. It's like talking to my friend one-on-one. She was so warm. She was so sweet. She smelled good. She looked beautiful. And it was just amazing. I loved it. I was really excited to meet her. She was one of the people I was like, I have to meet Lisa Barlow. And I was also just happy that I can be in a moment with Kaya because, last time she went by herself, but this time it felt like this is Bravo Wild Black.
Exactly. Like everything finally came into fruition and like it just peaked. It was a great moment. Like there's food, there's drinks, there's Lisa Barlow. What more can you ask for? We're not going to share exactly like what she said to us because you got to keep some things for yourself. But obviously, words of encouragement were exchanged, and she also introduced us as her friends again. And you might see a message that she has for you guys because of course, we're going to tell her to say something for the gram. Like, did it even happen if it wasn't for the gram? She also had her own glam lighting.
Yes. Which was really great, by the way.
I wanted glam light.
10 out of 10. And then John was right behind her. It was crazy.
So we spoke for like a good 3 solid minutes and we're like, okay, we're being rude now. Let's go talk to John. And John told us about the plans of expansion, which we're excited about. We want to be the first taste testers, obviously. And he just felt like our uncle. Like, it was just a wholesome experience. And we saw him for the rest of the day and we saw him the next day too, because Lisa was on a panel, of course. But also, obviously, we're just talking. Another thing that made Saturday so great is that Aaron met Miss Quad.
I met Miss Quad, y'all. And that was, I want to say, that was honestly my number one thing for Bravocon. I'm like, I have to meet Miss Quad. I wanted to meet, I snatched my headphones out. I'm so excited just talking about it. I wanted to meet Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Simone and pretty much the whole Media to Medicine cast. But the number one person was definitely Quad because, as you know, she just came out with her new seasoning. So Friday we went, we purchased the seasoning, and then thank whoever was the host of the panel, we follow her on Instagram too, so shout out to her. But she informed me that Quad was going to be there. She told me what time, and Quad was a little late, but when she showed up, she was beautiful. She was so nice. She literally seen me recording her in the background, and she's like, I seen you from the back. And it's so funny. I don't know if I'm going to release it, but I actually have this video of me recording her, and then she's drinking water, and she kind of just stares at me. And she's like, what the hell is he doing? Like, why is he recording me? It was like one of those moments where she caught me, and I just put the phone down. I was like, okay.
You just accept it.
I was like, okay, I'll stop. But she was so
You realize what a creep you're being, right?
I did, but it's like, because I think in her head, she views it as like, I'm a normal person. Like, yes,
They
I'm on
all do.
Bravo, but I'm a normal person. But I'm like, no, you're not. Like,
You're
I
Miss
watch you on
Clark.
my TV. I literally binge watch you. I watch old episodes. I'm invested in your life and what you have
We
going on.
quote you.
I remember your doggy company when you had your doggy clothing line. Like, I remember all this.
Like, does she remember it? Because we sure as fuck do.
Yeah,
It was like yesterday to us.
and we're gonna remind you about it. So when we
We love
seen
you.
her, it was crazy. We got to make a video with her. We got to take a picture. And we even promoted her sass seasoning, which y'all better check that out. I'm gonna
Put it
season it.
on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like that hot
That's
sauce.
exactly what we said too. Put it on everything, and I'm gonna do some Thanksgiving recipes with it. So y'all stay tuned for that. But we're gonna use that seasoning. I'm very excited about it. I also got to meet Dr. Jackie. Was that the same day? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Married to Medicine.
That was a Married to Medicine panel, which was, by the way, really, really good. We got an introduction to Sweet Tea, who is Dr. Gregory's new wife. That was very interesting. And we'll get into that more.
The Married to Medicine panel on our page. We'll probably get into Married to Medicine more because
we have to talk about the premiere of it anyway.
Exactly.
Which was 10 out of 10, I gotta say.
Like, yeah, I watched it the same. I watched it the same night. Sorry, like I was in Vegas.
Oh, you did?
Y'all were partying, shaking ass, and taking names. I was watching Married to Medicine, Baddies, like.
See, me and Kate, we watched Baddies together in Jocelyn's Cabaret, but I said Married to Medicine, I have to literally wait till I get home. Because, like you said, some things you just have to have for yourself. And with Married to Medicine, that's one of the things for me.
The Potomac panel was, I think it was right before, or like, it was 2:00, and then the Married to Medicine was 3:15. So the Potomac panel was really good. Giselle's still dating Jason, apparently. Robin said she was just not going to put her business out there when it comes to the whole Juan Dixon situation. Karen and Robin were going at it. Honestly, a lot of those panels didn't really give a lot of energy when it came to the shows. But when I say Potomac and Married to Medicine had reunion energy, these women know what to give people. It felt like we were in person watching a pre-reunion, which makes no sense because it premiered, which we'll get into Potomac also because that premiered too. So we're not going to get too deep into it. But as far as the panel, it was just great. We had to leave a little bit earlier to go to the Bravopalooza, but we also recorded that. That's on our page. So that was Saturday, and then Sunday it was a chill day. We had maybe 2 panels, but mainly we were in the VIP lounge and we were doing photo experiences. Mm-hmm. I will say, y'all heard me drag Carl to hell, and I truly meant it. I did, and I still do because.
But didn't you just post him on our story and say you're making a Christmas card with this picture? Yeah.
I was trying to get to it, like I was trying to put backstory behind. Listen, y'all, he's like 6'5". That
because I literally realized that as I'm like looking at
and I told him though, but I want y'all to know, and he will tell you this. Ask Carl, DM him, because I want to tell you what happened. He was leaving the VIP area, and I'm like, wow. He was statuesque. He was beautiful. I was like, I would never, ever take a picture with him because I'm a girl's girl, and I still am. But that man is 6'5", so whatever he does up there is none of my business. I don't know what he did. Like, he could have did it. He could have cheated. He could have not. I don't know. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to give him a chance. So I told him to his face, I'm like, you know what? I talk so much shit about you on the podcast, but you fine and you tall, so it's okay. And he looked at me and he laughed and he took it on the chin and he flicked up. And on top of that, when he flicked up, I posted it instantly because I couldn't believe, because he was so nice and such a gentleman. And he also, after he took a picture with Aaron too, and he thanked us for coming. He was just so nice. And then he also said, "God bless you," which I was just like, "God bless you." He was just like very, very nice. And he took the time because he was already leaving the VIP area. He had somewhere to be. So he stopped for us and some other people, but mainly us. So I put it up. That was the day that I wore I was doing my makeup. I had my makeup done differently every day, but I had like a cheetah print dress on, and I was giving it to the girls. Sorry, like I kind of ate some housewives up.
That was my favorite look. So I gotta say, out of all the 3 days, my favorite look was that 3rd day. Like you ate, you absolutely ate. The second day was really good too. The first day, like we were
the
just
first
like,
no. My favorite of yours was Saturday. Saturday.
I did like the Saturday.
If you look at the picture, yours ate
It
down.
was quad. It was quad.
Yeah, you dressed up for quad.
I had that quad energy.
Yeah, I dressed up for the last day. I wanted to see you guys. I wanted to look good for you guys. And I guess I also, like, we ran into Amir. So I wanted to look good for Amir because he was also in the VIP lounge. But mainly, I think that I look good for Carl. So we flicked up. I'm like, this is a really good photo of me personally. Like, I'm self-absorbed when it comes to that. So I'm like, yeah, I look great here. So I'm going to post it. I don't give a fuck how he looks. But I posted it to my personal first. And a lot of y'all follow me on my personal, which I don't know how I feel about that because you think I'm wild on Bravo?
Don't
Black.
say it.
My personal, but people like DM me. They're like, "You guys look so good together. You look so pretty. Y'all look like y'all go together. Do y'all go together? What y'all talk about?" People who didn't watch Bravo was like, "Is this your new man? Like, was this a hard launch?" I'm like, I would never launch. I keep it player. Like, I'm not about to launch no man. I keep it playing for real. I'm not about to launch a man like that. Like, no. You will see an elbow. You will see maybe a second can of soda. You will see a second plate. You'll see a Zelle pay before you see me hard launching a man like that. I'm like, no, he's on this show, but he did this thing, so everyone hates him, but he's really nice. And I told him a bit about himself, and they're like, you look good together. So I'm like, well, maybe it should be the Bravo with Black Christmas card, because your picture was also cute because he flipped up with you too. So some people were like, who is this man? Y'all look good together. And I'm like, I agree. So that's that.
Although I want to say, like, if that's the front of the Christmas card, the back should definitely be the picture with the Married to Medicine husbands. I love that picture too.
We got to meet Eugene. We got to meet Cecil. And Aaron even got to meet
I got to meet Dr. Damon. And I wanted to. The thing is, I should have asked him for a picture. I felt so bad afterwards because we were in a position where we already took a picture, and I just didn't want to overwhelm them and be like, "Let me take another." So it was just like
I didn't get to see Dr. Damon, so at least got to talk to him and like.
Yeah, he was like literally right behind us, and I was like, "Dr. Damon." Like, I know he knows who he is.
Respect.
But I was like, Dr. Damon?
I'm so jealous too. I'm trying not to be a hater, but I feel it in my bones.
I wanted to be like, can you FaceTime Heavenly or just bring her here?
Yeah, can you just call her name?
Yeah, so I can meet her, but like I said,
we didn't want to be a little bit, too gauche, but
too demanding.
Me and Carl and Aaron and Carl and the Bravo Black Christmas card. Just kidding, you guys, but it's a really good picture. And obviously, if he did whatever he did, he might not have went about it right, but we just gonna have to see on the Summer House, period. And you know what? You can hate on Carl all you want to, but one thing you can't hate is that picture, because that's a good motherfucking picture, period.
It was.
So
We also seen
Sunday,
Chef.
we also met Brian Benny from Family Karma. He's so nice. We told him, hey, we also live in South Florida. He conversed with us for a long time.
He was so
Very,
nice.
very, very nice. Very, very down to earth. You know, he's on a big show. Like, he was very in demand. So he could have got the big head and was like, no. He flipped up too. So 10 out of 10 experience with, I don't know, there was a lot of men, like these men, child. We also saw Lala. Lala liked my look for Sunday. That meant everything to me. This is my second time
Lala
meeting her.
looked so good. It was crazy. Like, keep in mind, I know she looks good, but I want to give it to all these women. Like, seeing all these women in person is just like unbelievable.
You know who's
they
gorgeous?
Who?
Phaedra. Phaedra's face,
Yeah.
even zoomed in. Like, I had her because I was sneakily recording the Married to Medicine husbands before we saw them. But then I turned and Phaedra was on the stage, like right in front of my face. So I turned and I put the phone because it was on Zoom, like it was on like 6X, and like it was Phaedra's face, and it was just like gorgeous. It was insane. It just got me so hyped. But these women are beautiful.
All of them. Each and every one of them. I gotta say.
Yes.
Even
And
Captain
some men were great. Amir was great. Carl was great. Brian was great.
Yeah, they were all really great. We even seen Reza at one of the panels. Also, shout out to Preston from Summer House Martha's Vineyard. He was so nice.
In VIP.
Yes, in VIP. We met him.
I think we played it cool. Like, I don't know why we didn't ask for a picture. I think that I was playing it cool with certain people because I didn't want to seem like such a fan, but I kind of regret it. But either way, we'll see him at the next Bravocon, or we'll see him on the podcast, hopefully, now that he met us in person. But the third day, yeah, you guys, we got a lot of pictures and we dipped a little bit early, but it was a great experience. I give the whole weekend a 10 out of 10. If you can make it to the next one, I think that you guys should try. The number one question that I get is how much would it cost from top to bottom to go to a Bravocon? And I'm telling you, start saving now if you want to have a comfortable experience. I would say per person, $3,000 to $4,000. So keyword here is how much does Bravocon cost? $3,000 to $4,000, and I'm saying from like food, hotel, ticket, traveling. Yeah, $3,000 to $4,000 per person, comfortably. Now, if you want to go on a budget, you also can go on a budget. You can get GA. You can travel on whatever airline you choose to do so. That's not Delta. You can stay at a hotel. But if you want to live like a king and be put up like kings like we were, $3,000 to $4,000. So I want to know your rose and your thorn of Bravocon to wrap this up.
Ooh. Okay, so rose for me was definitely meeting Quad. I'm gonna say it. That was like my rose. And also getting like this really cute video with Whitney Rose. That was another one. And what is it? You said the thorn?
Yeah.
The thorn was the fact that I didn't see any more of those chicken slaughters in the VIP room.
The way to Aaron's heart is a slider.
Yeah, I was kind of upset about that. And I wanted to tell them something, but I just...
Wait. Now, hold on.
Now,
yeah.
What was your rose and what was your thorn?
My rose was Lisa Barlow because she always makes you feel like the only person in the room, like you said. Like, just talking to her and John is the same way, but there's only so much I can say to a straight man. I don't know what to talk about with them. Like, that's why I'm always like, how's business? But with Lisa, you know, I can always have something to talk about with her. She's so nice. She's so pretty. And then my second rose is also meeting the people that listen to this podcast, because it was double the amount of people from last year, because you were there and obviously more people went. We got to see more West Coasters. It was just to know that people even listen to us. I don't know why. I just feel weird when people say that they listen to us, because I know that I'm a wild card. So I know that I probably said some shit that either they agree with or they don't agree with. But just meeting you guys was the best part. Like I really like prayed for it. So just know that you made every single day, and we had someone come up every single day. So shout out to y'all for real. My thorn was the travel. The travel was terrible. Just getting on the way back. You can add it, yeah. So the travel, going there, terrible. On the way back was a little bit smoother, but then something happened, and I don't want to talk about it because I am going to get violent. And one day I would like a sponsorship from them people. So I'm not going to say, but you know what the fuck you did. So yeah, so that is the Bravocon 2023 app. We'll probably be releasing more on our Patreon to talk about it. And we met some people who said that they would come on the pod. So, you know, we'll be talking about that. We need to add some Patreon content for sure. And thank you guys for coming up to us. Thank you guys for listening to us. Thank you guys for loving us and loving me through it all. And thank you for watching this or listening to this. And tell your friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, because I know a lot of people came to our page. They probably don't even know that we're a podcast. They probably just saw me covering it on Threads or on Instagram. But tell everyone to listen, to leave us a review. We really need more reviews. And we appreciate your reviews. Anything less than 5 stars, just DM us and cuss us out. But this was the penultimate Bravocon 2023 episode, and we'll be back on Saturday to talk Bravo and Bravocon some more. Bye.
Bye, y'all.